Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to this beautiful session. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Wherever you're watching from, accept greetings from myself. Good evening, whatever your time zone is, whether you're morning, afternoon, evening, accept greetings from myself. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you doing today? I would like to see some comments. I would like to see some hearts go up. I would like to see some interaction just so I'm sure that I am being heard. So I'm going to try to share the live just to make sure that people know that we are on and then they can join us. So if you can hear me, please make sure to give some hearts. Make sure to drop a comment. If you can hear me, please drop a comment, drop a like, so I'll know that I am being audible. I am being heard. Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Today we would be looking at some strategies to make our year a remarkable year. And the first strategy we'll be looking at is self awareness. So today we will talk about self-awareness, and then we would start by defining what self-awareness is. We will look at the importance. Why is it important to be self-aware? And then finally, we would look at how to develop self-awareness, because it is very, very important to build our self-awareness. Thank you so much. Now I know that I am audible enough. So, like I was saying, today we would first define self awareness. We would look at how or why it is important to become more self aware, and then how can we develop that self awareness. While I try to share the link with other people. I'll just like to give a brief reminder of who I am. If you're watching on replay, if you're watching me for the first time, my name is Annabelle Lola. I am founder of Bezzatelli. Bezzatelli is a sportswear brand that I started in order to encourage women to be fit, healthy, and confident. So we provide women with sustainable sportswear that tucks them in order to give them that beautiful silhouette that they require in order to go about their beautiful day, and especially as they hit the gym. So I am a mom, and I am also very passionate about personal development. I am passionate about empowering women and young people to be their best self. So, am I still on? Can I still be heard? Good. I can see some likes, so I'm very sure that I am being heard. Yeah. So, I am very passionate about helping women discover their potential, helping women discover who they are, and live a purposeful life. So, if you're struggling, you don't have to be a woman. I also work with loads of young people. You don't have to be a woman. You're struggling to find what your purpose is. You're struggling to know exactly why you're here on earth. It seems like your job, excuse me, your job isn't fulfilling enough. I am the right person to talk to. So just drop me, it could be a comment or a text, and I'll be delighted to go on a call with you. So, like I said, I am a mom to three cute boys and a wife, and also engaging in loads of other things. And today we would talk about a topic that is really dear to my heart, because I feel like it's also in line with what my mission is: finding your purpose. Sorry, I'm a little distracted, just trying to share the link now. So if you're more self-aware, then it's much easier for you to be able to know what your purpose is, because then you know what your frustrations are, you know how to manage your emotions and everything. So we'll go um, deeper in a second. So, um, yeah, like I was saying, When you're more self aware, you're able to know exactly why you're here on earth. And it's much easier for you, like, just to know this is exactly what I was made for. This is exactly why I am here on earth. And you see that things just start working for you so effortlessly. Things are just so, like, things just fall in place very easily because you know exactly what you want, and you know exactly how to get there. You know exactly who is able to help you and how they can help you. You're not just going to someone without any purpose. You're going because you know that they can help you in a specific way. So let me share. Then, okay, great. Now, so our topic tonight is key strategies to making your year a successful one. And I want us to start by defining success. Anyone watching me right now, if you could just drop in what you think is success, it would be great. So you know what your perception or what your definition of success is. Because when you're able to define success, it takes you, like, it lifts a very heavy burden off your shoulders. You're able to know exactly what how to work, how to go about your work, and also you're able to know who do I need on my team? What do I need to learn? So for me, for myself, I define success as setting my goals and achieving them. So if I set a goal, be it in my personal development, be it in my finances, be it in my leisure or my business, if I set a business goal and I achieve it, for me it is success. For some people, it is making loads of money. For some people, it is maybe traveling to a different country. For some people, it could just be anything. But for you, what do you define success as? Give me 1 second there now. Yeah, so how do you define success as a person? Because if you let someone else define success for you, you might not live a really fulfilling. How do you define success? And so our as we strive to be successful people, we need some key skills and strategies. And one skill I want us to look at today is um, self-awareness. And I'll start with this quote from Lao Tzu. I think he's Chinese. He says, "Knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is true wisdom." When you know yourself, you have true wisdom. If you concur with this quote, please make sure to type in the comment, I agree. This quote is on point. So he says, knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is true wisdom. So, what is self awareness? Self awareness is simply recognizing and understanding what your emotions are, what your frustrations are, what your motivations are, what your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors are, because those are things that have molded you to who you are today. And if you want to be better at being aware, if you want to be better at interacting with others, you want to be more efficient, then you need to have a greater understanding. You need to be more self aware. So when you know your strength, you know your emotions, you know how to deal with your past relationships, you look at the way your interactions with your siblings, with your parents, your past traumas have shaped your lives. That all contributes in what it is for you self awareness. So the way you look at those things, the way you act towards them builds your self awareness. So when you become more self-aware, you become more conscious about what your attitude is towards people. You become more conscious about how you react towards other people. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, so when you're more self-aware, it's just like having a clear vision, clear picture of yourself, looking at yourself internally, like looking at yourself inside, because you know or you understand yourself better, you understand what your aspirations are, you understand what your desires are, you understand what your strengths and your weaknesses are, you know what your fears and your emotions are. When you know all of these things, you know exactly how to interact with people, you know exactly how to deal with people when circumstances present themselves. You know what to say, you know what to do, and how to do it. So when you understand yourself better as well, you're able to understand your emotions. And when you understand your emotions, you're better you're in a better position to manage them rather than suppressing them. We all know that suppressing our emotions is not a very good thing to do because sooner or later those emotions will resurface. But when we take the time to kind of think over the emotion, what am I feeling? How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Then we realize that we can go through that process of thinking it and then trying to avoid it or trying to control it rather than you just saying, okay, it's just like, say, for instance, you lost someone who is very dear to you. Rather than grieving that person, choose to suppress that feeling. You choose to make it seem like that feeling doesn't exist. And what we all know is that with time, that feeling will definitely resurface because we are human, whether we like it or not. There will be a moment when you think about that person and then that feeling just pops and you can't control it at that time. But if you're able to go through the grieving process, you give yourself time to admit that this person isn't here with us anymore. But this is the memory that I want to keep about him or her. It's going to help you much better. It's going to make you go through that process more easily than just really suppressing it. We sometimes say that what doesn't kill you make you strong. If you're one of the believers of this phrase, I would like you to write in the comments. Do you believe in this phrase? What do you think about this phrase? Do you believe that what doesn't kill you make you strong? So it could be, yes, but it simply means you owning your feeling and trying to put it under control. It doesn't mean that because you're going through this episode in your life and you're still standing, you stand forever. It means that you take the time to own that feeling and then move ahead. If you're feeling sad, um, anxious, you're feeling jealous or angry, pause for a second. Try to identify the feeling. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Ask yourself many whys to know exactly why you're feeling this way. Write it down because this will help you next time to anticipate, oh, this is what I was going through last time that I started feeling this way. And you might say, okay, I don't want to push boundaries. It might just be someone talking somehow to you and you don't feel comfortable with it. You can just tell them that, please, I'm not comfortable. How often do you set your boundaries? Like, it's about you setting boundaries with people as well. When you're more self-aware, you set boundaries with people so that people know exactly what you can accept and what you can't accept. So let's look at why it is important to have self awareness. One of the reasons why it's important to have self awareness is that it makes us better at making decisions. When you're more self aware, because you know what your values are, you know what your purpose is, you know what your passion is, you understand your emotions, you understand what your desires are, you understand your frustrations, get more clarity in decision making. Because when you're making a decision, you're not basing it on just a random thing or what people would say or what people have said or what people are doing. You're setting your goals based on clarity that you have about yourself. I know that I am good at singing. So if I set a goal that I want to be in a football stadium in the next 10 years, singing at a concert of with over 1 million people, that's a clear goal. But it is because you're more self-aware. You know exactly who you are. You know what your strengths, you know what your capacities are. Another thing, the second point is that when you're more self-aware, you easily handle your emotions. So you're able to handle your emotions effortlessly. You know exactly how you feel and you know what your triggers are. So you're more in a better place to kind of know that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to stay away from. This place, when I go with this set of people, I feel this way, so I'm going to avoid them. And it also makes you to avoid stress because you know exactly what your stressors are, what your triggers are. Then you have better fulfilling relationships. As you set boundaries for yourself, other people set boundaries for themselves as well. So you know how to deal with people, you know how to interact with them, you know when to back up. When you're self-aware, you know exactly, am I a friendly person? Am I approachable? Am I aggressive? Am I cooperative? Am I collaborative? Can I work with people? Can I work with a team? How do people perceive me? Then you know exactly how to interact or deal with people. For example, if you're working with a team and your team members, you know exactly how this person, like if you're working with someone who is not um, very open to conversations, you know exactly when to go to that person to discuss certain topics because you know that this person might not like this and this is the best time to approach them. So when you're self-aware, we build better relationships. We try to avoid stepping boundaries. Then it makes us know what habits we want to let go, that we need to get rid of, and then what habits we want to build. For example, I know myself, I want to be fitter, I want to be healthier. What do I need to do? I need to exercise more often. Maybe I need to go to the gym. I need to work out on my own. I need to have a group of people that we work out together. Or I want to develop myself. Maybe what are those books that I need to start reading? Who are those people I need to start listening to? What are those podcasts I need to listen to? You know exactly what habits you want to cultivate and what habits you need to let go. If you want to be fitter, you have to stop smoking, you have to stop or reduce your alcohol consumption. And then another point, which is the fifth point here, when you are more self-aware, you easily reach your potential. Then another reward is that you will be able to live a fulfilled life. Because when you work in your potential, you're excited, you're happy, you're contributing in people's lives, you're making an impact, you're working in the place where you really want to belong. You're not just working in a place because you need the money, but you're working in a place where you know that you belong. You find fulfillment in that place where you are. So another point that I want to share with us is that um, when we are more self-aware, it makes us more resilient. Imagine that you know yourself. When you like, I there's someone that I appreciate very much because whenever she's sharing her quotes, she knows exactly what she's sharing because she knows who her audience is. But imagine here that you know how to manage your emotions. You know how far when people push you, you can back up. So you know that if this person is bringing this topic to me, I suspect this is where it's going to go down through. So you just say, no, I don't want this discussion. But in another way as well, it makes you a stronger person because you know how much you can take and how much you can't take. A stronger person in the sense that because I am more self aware of myself, I know that if this person is pushing me towards this way, I can just either stay quiet or just move away. So yeah, it helps us build our resilience. It makes us more authenticity for those who know my brand versatility. One of the key words, authenticity is very important. And when you know yourself, you can't lie to yourself because regardless of how hard you try to show a different face of yourself, people will always see you as you are because it'll be really hard for you to lie that this is not who I am. This is the other person. Like so it makes you show your authentic self. It makes you show your authentic self. It makes you better at managing stress. We talked about healthy relationships already. And most importantly, it helps with our overall well-being because you're more self-aware of yourself, you know what you want, then you're able to take care of yourself. You're able to eat healthy. You're able to interact with people that can bring you value. You're able to interact with people that are more conscious about what they say to others, with people that are empathetic, people who have feeling, as I wanted to say, but the right way to say is people who have concern about others. So your overall health will be improved, especially your emotional health. So before going to talk about how we can develop our self-consciousness, our self-awareness, I want us to talk a little bit about self-consciousness. And self-consciousness is simply having excess awareness of yourself, especially when it concerns your interaction with others. But when you have too much of self consciousness, it's not very good because you want to always be aware. Like you're working on, will I say, autopilot. You judge yourself. Oh, am I good enough? Am I well dressed? You move into a room and you look at yourself and you're saying, "Oh my God, looks like I am the worst stress in this room. Like you begin to doubt yourself, you begin to judge yourself. Syndrome just creeps in because you no longer trust yourself. You're just looking at yourself and trying to compare yourself with others. So it makes you nervous and uncomfortable. So having self awareness is good, being self conscious is good, but being too self conscious is not good. I'll give an example. Sometimes I go to events here, and when I walk into the room, I realize that I am the only brown skinned person. And then my mind starts playing back at me. Oh my God, are you accepted in this room? What are you doing in this room? Are you worthy to be in this room? What do you want? Like questions just come to my mind that make me want to downplay myself, make me want to forget my purpose for being at that event. But then when I think of it again, that I know myself, I know why I am here, I know who I am here to meet, or I know the reason that brought me here, then I try to calm down. I just take a deep breath and I forget about being worried. I forget about I'm the only brown skinned person. I forget about I am the least experienced person in this. I am here to learn. So it's great to know yourself. It's great to be self-conscious, but too much self-conscious is not very good because you could be walking in the street and then you're looking at yourself and saying, everyone seems to be better dressed than myself. Then you, rather than focusing on where you were going or what took you out of your house on that day, you're focusing on the fact that you're not as well dressed as other people. So yeah, it's great to focus on yourself, but just relax. Now, let's talk about how to build self-awareness. The first point here is a very simple point, and it says be curious to learn more about who you are. Ask yourself questions. What are my likes? What are my dislikes? What are my frustrations, my paths, my desires? What are my emotions telling me? What are my strengths, my weaknesses? What are those things that I want to achieve? It is also self awareness. When you know what you want to achieve, you're more aware of where you're going, you're more aware of the steps you need to take together. The second thing is the self introspection. And as you take self introspection, it is very important for you to journal. Write down your feelings. How are you? For instance, maybe you had a not so good day today, and you want to know exactly why do I feel this. Write it down. Maybe I woke up not very happy. Um, this is how my day went. My day was maybe okay or not so okay. And the next day you come back and write again. With time, when you come back to your journal and then you look at it, you will see that maybe there is a sequence. You might notice that maybe it's your thoughts at night are going to bed and you wake up not very excited, not very happy. Or it might be something that you do first thing in the morning that makes you not really excited. And then you think of it the other way. Things are making me not very excited. Can I stop it for something else? And I do something that makes me happy. It could be waking up to a 5 minute exercise every morning. It could be waking up to listen to a motivation video or whatever. But you just try to change your state so that you can have a better day. The next thing when you're looking, when you're having that self introspection, is to meditate. Meditation helps to keep you calm. So calm down, meditate, take a break and just think about nothing. But I highly recommend journaling. If you're someone who has mood swings, you go from one emotion to another, I really suggest you start journaling. Maybe within your day, you had a fight with someone and it ended up just spoiling your day or making you have not a very good day, making you think about it all through the day. Go back to your journal and ask yourself, what did this person say that made me really sad or made me really upset? When you write it down, think of it. What in this word or what makes me feel sad about this word? Because it's about you discovering, getting the root cause of why person made you sad or why that specific word that person used made you sad. So the more you ask yourself questions, the better you get at knowing why you get sad when certain situations arise or why you get sad when certain words are used. Maybe it could be a word that you have not a very good relationship with. Growing up, it was used against you or your teachers or your parents, your siblings, or your friends. It could be something from your past, but ask yourself many whys to know exactly the reason that it makes you sad. So, if you're learning something, I would like you to share with me so far what's the key takeaway. We have defined self awareness. We said it's understanding and recognizing your emotions, your desires, your strengths, weaknesses. We have talked about a few. Um, why it is important to be self aware. Now we are looking at how to develop your self awareness. So if you have learned anything so far, I would like to see some interaction in the comments, please. Frank, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for your support. He says, yes, so long as you learn the lessons and make the decision to grow. Thank you. It's very important that we learn and make the decision to grow because as you grow in your awareness, aim is for you to get to where you want to be. The third point in how to build your self awareness is to pay attention to your thoughts. We're talking a lot about our thoughts because if you want to be aware, everything starts from your thoughts. How are your thoughts controlling you? What are they telling you? What are your triggers? Is it from your past? Is it from something that happened? Is it from an encounter with someone? Why is it upsetting you? Or why is it making you sad? Why is what this person said making you so sad? Your thoughts will will make you feel in a certain way. So if you're thinking positive, if what someone tells you makes you feel excited or makes the way you interpret that thought will give you a feedback, which will be a feeling, and that feeling is going to make you is going to tell you how to react towards what that person said. So our thoughts is very important to always have another thought. That is, take a deep breath. Why am I thinking this way? Why is my thought driving me towards this direction? I know I'm talking about thoughts, but sometimes your mind or your thoughts could be telling you something else, whereas your feeling is telling you something else. So you can kind of have that contradicting thoughts and feeling at the same time. But it's when you know yourself, you tell your thoughts, this is how I want to feel. I don't want to be sad about what this person is saying. So thoughts tell you you're a loser. As a more self-aware person, your thoughts tell you that you're a winner or you're a conqueror. Or what are your thoughts telling you? Your thoughts boost you. Oh my God, I'm the most amazing person in the world. Or do they tell you that no one even wants you? So what are your thoughts telling you? And if you want to be a more self-aware person, your thoughts needs to always be on the positive side of things and not the negative side of things, because you are driving yourself towards being better. You're driving yourself towards moving away from what seems to be pulling you important, what kind of lift you up. The fourth point you have to look at when you want to build your self awareness is your feelings. When you master your feelings, then you would be able to deal with people so effortlessly. Why do I say so? Some people would deliberately come our way just to annoy us, just to upset us, just to spoil our day. But then it's left to you to tell yourself that I'm not gonna let these feelings spoil my day. It's up to you to say, no matter what this person is saying, if a deaf ear, I'm just going to focus on what is great, what is for me, what in whatever he or she is saying is for me. You might be feeling a certain way because someone used a word that reminds you of the things. But what interpretation are you giving to that word? What interpretation are you giving to that feeling? When you look at yourself, when you interact with someone and you see that this person is not in his best mood or in his best self, sometimes if they're not very good people, they might want to bring you down that road. Them. So when interacting with people, know where you stand. Are you here to help boost this person's morale, or do you want to feel the same way like they're feeling? Is it that I'll go back a little bit to your thoughts. Maybe someone did something few years back that really annoyed you, and then you have moved on. Then this person comes to you again, and you're having a discussion, and he says something that brings that forward. Will you let yourself go back through that time which you have gone past? That is, will you let yourself go back to that time when you kept thinking, oh, he said this that annoyed me, or he did this that annoyed me? Or will you say, I have let go and I'm moving ahead? So it's very important that you know what your thoughts are telling you, why they are telling you, what it is telling you. Is it what I want to keep, or do I want to change it? What new thought do you want to bring in to replace that one with? For me, that's the most important thing to pick out of this point about thoughts. What's the new thing you want to replace that one with? What's the positive thing that person has done in your life that you think for you is better than whatever um, negative thought they might want to impose on you at the moment? So then, point number five is pay attention to your beliefs. What's your belief system? Growing up, we learned about so many things. So we have things that we believe from our childhood, we believe from our parents, from our upbringing, from our loved ones, from people that influence us, from our religion, from our cultures, our traditions, from the environment we grew in. All those things have, in one way or the other, shaped us. They have made us who we are today. But you need to ask yourself, where did I learn this belief from? Is it from an experience, or was I programmed to think this way? Is it society that imposed that on me? Is it my parents? And then what do you choose to believe? Because you're a more self aware person today. What do you choose to believe? Do you choose to believe that what you thought about, or the way you are thinking 5, 10 years ago, or 20 years ago is still valid today? For example, maybe growing up, um, you always heard your parents say money is the root of all evil, because maybe they said so due to the fact that most wealthy people would kind of engage in duping people, or maybe um, they just get money through very ungodly ways. Then you ask yourself, is it something that I learned? Is it a life experience thing? Or was I programmed to think that money is the root of all evil? Definitely, you were most likely programmed, or you grew up to hear your parents say, so you thought that it is the right thing. You thought that maybe if I work very hard to get a lot of money, people won't like me, because most people that are wealthy or most people that are rich are people who have gotten their money through very suspicious sources. Then you ask yourself, what do I choose to believe today? Now that I am more self aware, I am better educated, I have more knowledge about how to make money, or how people make money. I choose to believe what my parents used to tell me, or what people around me used to say about money. It's your choice now. You know, you have more awareness, you have more knowledge. I choose not to believe anymore, because yes, some people might make money through dubious means, but a lot of people also work very hard to make their money. So it's about you asking yourself to kind of liberate yourself from the fact that, is it really true? Because if your mind is constantly telling you that money is the root of evil, then you won't be able to get money. And we need money to do everything. So it's about you knowing what you have been programmed, whether that programming is the right thing for you at the moment, or you have to forget about it, you have to drop it. Another thing is, maybe growing up as a kid, your parents taught you to be very respectful. They didn't only teach you, but you also saw them give respect to others. So you grew up knowing that to respect others is very good. Were you programmed this belief? Yes. Is it the right thing to do? Yes, because it is nice to respect people. So it's looking at it from both ways. Whatever you grew up learning, where did you learn it from? Is it society, from parents? Were you programmed? What do you choose to believe today? It all depends on how much awareness you have about that topic. So um, I think I have covered most of my stuff for tonight. I would like to see questions coming. If you have any questions on how to build your self awareness or whatever I have discussed today, I am more than happy to answer questions. I would like to see some questions, some comments. But before I go, there are a few key questions that I would like to share with you here. I hope I can open them up. There are a few key questions that I want you to have, because these questions, if you're able to answer them, then you would be great at building your self awareness. You would be better at dealing with people. You have better relationships. You'll be a better focused person. So, the first question, if you had no limitation in life, what would you do? If you had no limitations, what will you do? So sometimes we say, if uh, we had no limitations, we might start an orphanage, we might build a business, we might start a school. If you had no limitations, what's one thing, or what are two things? How many you want? Just write them down. Just write them down, because this is going to so just write them down. If you had no limitations, what will you do? What kind of impact will you like to create? Who would you work with? What will you work on and why? You see, the why question always comes in. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Why are you acting the way you're acting? Why are you interacting with this group of people? Why are you collaborating? Why are you partnering with this person? Another thing you have to ask yourself is it something that you really want to do, or is it something that it's society that's imposing on you? For example, I want to start a school because it's very beneficial or it is very rewarding. People would pay school fees and I'll make so much money. But then is that your big why? Is that the reason why you want to start a school? If that's the reason, I'm afraid you might not um, really be fulfilled in that role. But if you're starting a school, for instance, because you want to impact young people's lives, because you want to make a change in people's lives, then it is a more candid, it is a more fulfilling reason because you're thinking about people, you have concern about people, then you'll be more fulfilled. But if it's just about making the money, it's not, it might not be very fulfilling. You might be frustrated at some point, you might just want to give up. Then create a list of your non-negotiable values. What are your values? Maybe respect, honesty, integrity, kindness, care. What are those values that you won't negotiate for anything? Family could be another value. What are those values that you just won't compromise for them? Then, when we started, I asked, what is your definition of success? It's very important that you have your own definition of success and have a very clean picture of it. You can have, for instance, in the last workshop I did on goal setting, we were talking about having your vision board. Have your vision board with clearly painted pictures. This is what I want to achieve. If I achieve this, if I achieve that, if I achieve this one, I know I am successful. So, in your terms, is success. For me, success is setting goals and achieving them. My personal development goal could be reading one book monthly or in 2 months. Financial goals could be having 10,000 euros monthly. Whatever that goal for you is, write it down. Success for you. I just define success for me. But what is it for you? Write it down so that you know exactly, am I achieving it when you are? Like you look at it from time to time. How far have I gone? And then another thing is, what story do people tell about yourself? When you know what people are telling about yourself, then you're better at knowing exactly um, how better or how good you are, how self-aware you are. Because if people are saying that he's a kind-hearted person, and you know you're a kind-hearted person, it just kind of um, it's just the right fit for what your thoughts are, and you're more better at yourself because what people are saying is exactly what you are. But if people are saying the opposite, then you need to have time to evaluate, am I really what I think I am? And like I said, it shouldn't come to a point where you're too self-conscious, like where you doubt every single thing, every single thing about yourself. But it is important to know the key important things, like what are my emotions, what are my feelings, what are my desires, what are my passions, what's my purpose, what are my skills, my strengths, my weaknesses, what's my emotion telling me about the situation. So yeah. And also another question you have to ask yourself as you try to look at yourself as a more self-aware person. How do I see rejection? When someone tells you that I don't want you as part of my group anymore, I don't want you as my friend anymore, I don't want you in my class, how do you feel when someone tells you it's over? How do you feel? You should be able to know that as a self-aware person. Then, how do you react in unforeseen circumstances? For instance, if someone is breaking up with you, if you're in an abusive relationship, how do you? These are a few questions that can help you um, as you build your self awareness. If you answer these questions, you'll be great because you have a clear picture of who you are, you have a clear picture of what your emotions are, you have a clear picture of what you want to achieve, which is what we have given as the definition of self awareness. Recognizing and understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your desires, your fears, your passions, your purpose. So I want to end with um, this thing that I saw in John Maxwell's chapter about on the law of awareness. He mentioned that there are three types of people that exist in the world. The first category are people who do not know what they want. Most of us in the world live in this category because we haven't taken time to kind of find out, why am I here? What do I have to offer to people? What can I bring to the world? What do I want to leave as a legacy? These people have no sense of self awareness. Because when you're aware of yourself, when you know who you are, you know what your purpose is, you know what your strengths are, you know exactly where to feed yourself. For instance, if you're good at IT, then you know, oh, I could be an IT technician, I could be an IT specialist, I could work for the big software developing companies or whether computer companies. I'm not an IT person, so I won't be able to advise you on that. But yeah, if you know that you're great at singing or you're great at dancing, at cooking, you're great at speaking, you know exactly where to position yourself. The second category of people that John Maxwell describes in his book, in this chapter, is people who know what they want, but they don't do it. These people are paralyzed by fear. Imagine knowing that I want to be able to start a school in the next 10 years. And today you're not taking any action because you're scared. You're scared of what people will say. Will people say that I'm not good enough to start a school? Will people say that I don't have the money to start a school? Will people say that I have no educational background to start a school? Or that I'm not even educated. Even if you're not educated, you have the vision. Then you find people who have the knowledge to do it with you. So most of the people in the second category are paralyzed by fear, and so they take no action. And then the final category is category three. These are people who know what they want and they take action. These are the people that live accomplished lives. So if you know that you are among the people that live accomplished lives, I want you to write category three. I want you to write three in the chat. I want to see some interaction in the chat. Please let me know you're watching. Let me know you're listening. Let me know I'm audible enough. What category of people do you find yourself in? Is it people who do not know what they want? Is it people who know what they want but they don't take action? Or is it people who know what they want and they take action? Thank you so very much for your time. I hope you got some value out of this session. I'll give one more minute just to see if I get a question come through, and then I'll call it off for the day. So thank you. I appreciate you, Stephanie. I see you. Thanks for joining. For everyone who joined me tonight, I would like to see your comments. I would like to see your takeaway. Is there one thing you're taking away today? Thank you, Marcel. Thanks for joining. Is there one thing you're taking away today? Is it about watching your thoughts? Is it about watching your feelings? Is it about journaling your feelings? I know it's a very tough time of the year. So many things are happening. It could be the price increasing. It could be family, the relationship isn't working with your partner. How do you look at all of those things that are happening? You look at them from the positive side, or are you always looking at it from the side and nothing is working at all? Are you sure nothing is working at all? Ask yourself that question. Are you sure nothing is working at all? You have 3 meals a day, absolutely working. Are your kids healthy? Are you healthy yourself? Are you can you be grab a cup of water and drink yourself? That's something that's working. So why not look at things from the positive side rather than from the side that we had to fight over the fact that maybe he's not giving me any allowance, he's not letting me do what I want. Look at it from the positive side. What are those things that you do together that brings you joy? Thank you so very much. Sometimes you really have a great feedback on who you are. Ask the kids. I like that one. You spend a lot of time with you. It would be amazing what you could find out from them. That's a great one, Stephanie. Yeah, sometimes it's great to ask the kids because, and why I like the kids, they're so innocent and what they say it the way it is. And that's what I like very much about my sons. If you ask him that you like the food, he'd say, yeah, a little bit, but I think it was so cheap. So he says it as it is. He won't say, he doesn't sugarcoat things. So asking a child about who they think you are, I think that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for that advice. I think I'm going to ask my son tonight that who does he think I am? But one funny thing about him these days, about one of the boys these days is if I tell him, for instance, the past days he just would fight with me when we're doing his homework, and then when I tell him, I'll tell your teacher that you don't listen to me when I'm trying to help you, you don't want me to help. Then he tells me, I'm going to tell your teacher too. So so he just knows that he needs to know who my teacher is, so that he's going to tell my teacher that I don't listen to him. But yeah, thank you so much. My daughter tells me she hates my tiger mood. Oh my God. It means you're really like, ah, that's so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, I think it's a very valid thing to look at it from a child's perspective because children don't lie. If they say you're a kind person, if they say you are sometimes very mean, then maybe you should kind of look at what you're doing that's making you so mean or what you aren't doing. What are you kind of, what positions or what posture do you have when you talk to them? I've resolved to calming down, not reacting when something happens. I just stay calm. Maybe it could take a day or a couple of uh, hours before I say, this is what you did. I didn't appreciate it. Will you try not to do it next time? So for me, it's a little bit more of self awareness. I am aware that this thing has upset me, but I don't have to respond instantly, or I don't have to give that person the pleasure to know that I am upset. So yeah, it's great to kind of know ourselves and know how to control our emotions. When I am mad, when she was yeah. So so Stephanie, maybe try to kind of calm down first. Give her a break. Let her go, and then you call her after an hour or two and sit her down and have a discussion with her. You did this. Do you think it's the right thing to do? Will you try to do it this way next time rather than do it this way? And just listen to her because she might have a reason why she did what she did or why she did what she did the way she did. So just listening to the kids sometimes can be so much of value to us. Once more, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time. I hope you got real value. I hope you're taking away something today to practice, something that would change your life. It might take a while to build because myself, I am still in that process of building these skills. Sometimes it's patience. Like I think I mentioned in my last life, that it's patience. It's also about just taking a break, taking a deep breath, and just letting go, but having a way of putting it so that no one goes hurt with what we've said. Once more, thank you so much. If you go to our Versatility page, whether on Instagram, Facebook, and you see something that you like, do not hesitate. Our website isn't back up yet, but it'll be back up very soon. So if you see something that catches your eye, do not hesitate to message me. Thank you. Have a great evening and bye bye.